So we're going to go to a small and quiet shopping area so I can get a few bits and bobs and practice being filmed.
It's about an hour away, so time for some So I'm here in the quiet shopping area. There won't be too many people. I should be able to practice talking to people, hopefully.
Time to start taking it all down. Last year in the New Year's sale, I went a little bit mad buying beautiful solid glass decorations. I think these ones are heritage ones, aren't they? Aren't they beautiful? For the sad part.
I haven't actually quilted my nutcrackers, mainly because it reduces bulk, because I store them for half the year, but also, this is a big reveal, I'm not very good at quilting.
That should keep them snug till next year. Night, boys. The border's going really well for my dragon. I've got quite far with the blue shapes, so I'm going to start to cut some fabric for the red side, and then I can start basting them this evening. Fabric, and I'm going to start off by wrapping some hexagons. I'm a thread baster, so I just find when I'm sat watching TV, not getting covered in glue has got to be better, right? Especially on a velvet sofa. So I tend to thread baste all my normal pieces, and I only use glue for if I'm making like a box or something where I don't need to take the paper out. just starting to think about filling in the next big gap in the dragon's tail. I don't know if you remember, but the other side I have been fussy cutting. So I have actually got some shapes that are wrapped already, but between you and me, I took them apart because I joined them wrong before Christmas. So I need to rejoin those correctly and then do some more pieces fussy cut to match the arrangement that I have. Now, I don't fussy cut them as per the fabric because I just think it would use up so much fabric and I can't stand that. So I kind of just match some bits and then try and have a bit of space around the edge, and then I can just match another little section, and it's just a bit more efficient, not so much wastage. So I'm going to start off by rejoining the pieces that I've taken apart, and then after that I'm going to wrap some more to match. I always try and get into the habit of having a little peek to make sure it's lined up right, but quite often I forget and realise I've sewn the entire piece on and it's upside down or back to front or just a terrible job. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Let me know your worst error in the comments. Make me feel a bit better about all my mistakes. I know that lots of you have made mistakes. I think it's a very common English paper piecing thing to do. These shapes don't match perfectly, to be honest, because I fussy cut them for the way that I did it was wrong. But like I said before, I'm not trying to do it perfectly, just trying to make it look not too jarring, just a little bit more cohesive. I've chosen to use matching thread. It's actually a Gutermann thread. I always try and match the thread of one side of my piece. Obviously in this instance it's super easy to find a thread that matches both sides, but I find as long as it matches one side and then I sew towards the side it matches, I tend to get a nice join, not too many visible stitches, although I don't mind a few, to be honest, because, you know, we've hand stitched these beauties. Let's show the world our stitches. So you see it's not perfect, but I think it still works to make a nice looking piece when it's all joined together. So onto there, I actually have done quite a good job with that one there, so I think that'll work quite nicely. So I'm going to line it up and then turn it over. It might just need a little bit of finagling into place. Do another knot, just in case for some reason I have to remove the other piece. I think we've already established that I'm definitely not perfect with my sewing. So if it looks like my piece isn't quite going to make it all the way to the corner, there's a few things that I do just to help it to fit. This one is actually fitting quite nicely, so I don't have a problem. But I will sometimes put a little bit of force with the bottom and then pull with the top, so there's a bit of a push and pull action. That would help pull this to the corner if it was a bit short. The other way around if I wanted this to line up with this by pulling it back. Another thing that I would do is I would sew to maybe a third of the way across or to the middle, and then I would knot off, snip it, and start again with them lining up at the other side. So I'm just going to go in through this corner, lined up with this crease here, and then go into literally where they join. And then I would knot on here. Sometimes actually I knot on in just one side and then go through. But then I sew towards the part where I'd knotted off. That way the fabric sorts itself out in the middle. It's amazing. So durable. And then the third way that I would solve this, and this is only really for thread basters, I would actually take off the knot at the top of my piece, sew along, and then join it back on at the back again. I'll make sure I show you this when I come to a situation like that. I think that is one of the things that makes thread basting so flexible, to be honest. People who glue baste, you'll have to tell me some of your fixes, if there's anything that applies only to glue and not to thread. I'd like to hear. Joined up. So this is the shape that I'm looking for, just to go in that piece there. As you can see, it's mostly just blue. So I'm looking for predominantly blue around the shape of this. I tend to cut a slightly bigger seam allowance when I'm fussy cutting, because I find, I don't know, I never cut very neatly or very evenly, or where I should do. If I cut a bigger seam allowance, then there's a little bit more leeway to play when I'm trying to baste it, but it does mean that sometimes it can look a bit messy. But then why change a habit of a lifetime? Everything I do seems to be a little bit messy. So this fabric you can actually see through, so it makes it quite straightforward for lining up. That's fine. A little twist when I wrap these, just to get the points nice and sharp. Actually feed back through because that's such a big seam allowance. Now on these ones I don't actually do it like a windmill, like you should do, just because you don't ever hold in place as snugly. Breaking the rules. Okay, a little snip. Okay, so that's that piece. That is going to now go in here. this one off. Okay, so the important bit that is lining up these pieces here. Right there it is. So I probably cut off a little bit too much. It's all the way up to there. Okay, that's getting a bit more like it. Let's move this to the corner.
The good thing about taking down the nutcrackers is it means that this one can go back up. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching. See you next time.